Good afternoon, everyone. I came to bring you a afternoon cheer as I head into my place of employment. I finally know. I finally referred to as the plantation known as Candyland. So, yeah, you see the title, Situational Awareness. Today I am speaking upon the concept. No, it's a concept of self self-preservation of survival, known as and it's a concept in the area known as situational awareness. We find ourselves in all forms of situations, whether they be situations of our environment or psychological situations, emotional situations, financial situations. Uh, but the most important thing that what helps us to avoid the heavy impact of those situations, those negative impacts of those situations in which they become a burden upon ourselves, is that we somehow should be able, or somehow we should practice some form of situational awareness. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to, because this is pretty much, man, it's a long line to get to where I need to go, but I'll get there on time. But yeah, let's speak in regards. Let's say, there's been an officer shoot with yeah, I hate to do it like this, not. I'm gonna go with it. Fuck it. Okay, let's say an officer comes up on an arrest or whatever. And I mean, it's a typical stereotypical play, man. And I mean, I did it and I had the same type of attitude when I was young, and I was punished, and not luckily not as severely as others have been punished in regards to being defiant with law enforcement. This was a black law enforcement officer I was defiant with, but I still suffered nevertheless. Uh, in those situations, you can't hold court on the street. You have to be aware of the situation that you're in. You're not. It's only you against this police officer, and surely backup's only a call away. Backup's almost there, but rarely do you see an individual, especially someone that is black, where there's just only one police car there. Usually backup is called. But that I digress on that point. You have to be situationally aware that your head is in the proverbial lion's mouth. So you can either argue with the lion about your head being in his mouth, or you should be in the position to play dead or coax your way out of the lion's mouth. That is if you are aware of your situation. Let's say an example in a social situation. No. We'll go with a work situation. All right, so I mean, maybe you don't necessarily know, but that your performance on your job has been slacking, and there are people around you that work with you, and their performance is not necessarily slacking, but they notice how your job performance is falling. Now that amongst that group of individuals, the murmuring's going to the talk's going to go around the office, whatever about this situation, what's going on with such and such. We in here doing all this work and they tricking off. So it's like, well, if you're aware of the situation, and I mean, I know we like to talk a lot about vibes and things of that nature, but there are some things that they're also blatantly obvious. In a situation where that you are not holding your weight, and if you feel uncomfortable, you feel that those people that are inside that situation with you are not responding to you in a way in which you feel. Once again, we get caught up in the feelings, because a lot of times we might mistake those feelings that we are not performing up to standards to just our own individual paranoia, knowing that we could perform better in our circumstances. But what I'm saying is, it's basically, I didn't mean to get too complicated with it, but when you're in a situation, you have to be aware of the situation. We'll even go to the popular topic today, Brittany Griner. Now I don't know. I know I read somewhere today that I read a young lady say it's just you black males are just getting a hard on for seeing a black woman in jail. I don't understand. Maybe that she may be right for somebody, but I personally don't understand the logic of unless that person has done wrong, unless that person has actually admitted to doing wrong. I don't even see why that even should be a factor. Whatever gender believes that Miss Grinder or what Brit whether Brit did wrong or not, that's on Brit. And Brit pled guilty for doing wrong. I don't know whether in a certain situation where you believe that you are innocent, you generally tend to fight for your innocence. I would think so. So situational awareness. She had to be aware of her situation. She went over there to play basketball, and they say, I got to be careful with what they say. Y'all can fact check me later on this. They say she went over there to play. Let me go continue. She went over there to play basketball for the Russians, and she had the shit. Well, she's admitted now that she's had the stuff on her, but it was like, okay, if you really feel you're innocent, I mean, you're at this point it's pretty much that reaction that on the fact that she's American and it's Russia and America shouldn't have to obey Russia's sovereign laws, even though the American is in Russia. I don't know why wouldn't the circumstances be truthful in all cases? She should have been when you are going in places, and I've taken risks where I wanted to have my condiments along with me, to carry to certain places, but I always weighed the risk versus the reward, and I guess she may have done so as well, but she crapped out with it. So I don't know why this thing keep popping up on my screen, but nevertheless, man, you got to be aware of your situation. You got to be aware whenever you're in a particular situation, you should be aware of what's going on. What are the implications of what's going on? How does that thing that is going on respond to that thing that is in that situation? That's a component of survival, having proper situational awareness. And with that, I am at Ken. I take my stand. I make my bed. Oh yeah, man. I appreciate you, brother Wenzel and brother Lewis, for y'all for sliding through. I see y'all out there. Peace and love. I must go. Y'all have a great afternoon.